We are in the studio of Akbar Padamsee, and I'm going to be asking him questions about his private language, the journey that has taken him 60 years. So we begin with asking him a bit about the private language that he has made his own. For Padamsee, the study of art has always been profoundly related to the making of language, a private language, and genre not as pure convention or formulaic language. What role does it have to play in the making of his private language? Since the early 1950s, Padamsee has been experimenting with such styles as the female nude, landscape, metascape, and occasionally still life. Do the themes function comfortably within the convention of these genres? Or are the genres capacious enough to allow room for peculiar private meanings and perceptions to be accommodated within their extended apparatus? Akbar, how would you treat this issue? How would you?
It's a difficult thing to comment on because he has already made a statement.
What is your statement?
No, I think that one of the basic things about painting, language of painting, is color.
Right.
And one of the strange things about color is that it is paradoxical. If you look at red and look on a white wall, you will see green, which is impossible. Green was not there. But the reason why you see green is they want to negate the color so that you can, the eyes have obsession to see. If you look at orange intently for half a minute and look on a white wall, you see blue. Blue was not there. So why do you see blue? Because orange has got yellow, red, and blue is missing. So the missing color comes. In this, if one is aware of this, you can make the eye travel to blue. Say you one color on one side and another blue in a distance, and no other color, the eye will immediately try to find the blue.
Right.
And if it cannot find the blue, it will create the blue. I'm not talking blue. If you use red, you will see green. If you see yellow, if you see yellow, you will have violet. The missing color will come because eye has to be fresh to look again. So I found that very interesting. Because color, just as in cinema, you move the camera. Here, you don't, painting is still. The eye can travel, and the eye travels according to the way you distribute the colors. Now, so the first thing in language is to understand this language of color.
Right. Akbar, tell me, you were the first painter in your family, was it not?
I started actually at the age of 4 or 5 drawing. And at that time, in the house, we had 2 magazines, one Illustrated Weekly and one Life magazine. And I used to see just the images and make drawings. And my father was quite amused.
And before this, what was your father doing?
He came from the village originally, and I'll tell you shortly how he came. His father had a granary in the village.
Which village did he come from?
It's called Wagnagar. It is near Mawa.
Okay.
And it's a small village. He had a granary. And that monsoon there didn't rain. So they all came to him that what will happen? There is nothing to eat. So he said, I've got a granary. Why are you worried? He was the head of the village. He said, it's my responsibility to see everything. I'll just give you the handful of grain every day and we'll pass the next 6 months. The adjoining village people started coming also. And he gave them also. And at the end of the famine condition, he had no grain left.
Oh dear.
And so he was sitting on the jula in the Angan, the courtyard, and wondering what should I do. And there's a knock on the door, and a man came with a cow and said, just keep it, somebody will come and collect it. But nobody came. Then another 15 days, a man came with a horse. He said, keep it. He said, but the second time this is happening. Why? He said, we are from the adjoining village. He said, thank you.
Okay.
So he said, my God, how wonderful. My own village did not even thank me. They are giving us things. So And after some time, a person from Mamadili Road in Bombay was looking for a daughter for his son.
Yes.
So he asked, said, whose steps should I take in my house? They said, go to this Padamsi's house. So he came and said that I want your daughter to marry. So he said, look, I'm sorry, I have no money to give you dowry because the son you pay dowry. I have no money for dowry. He said, who's asking you dowry? We want good footsteps. And you saved the whole village from, so these are best footsteps. So my father came to Bombay. He was 15, 16. He said, but he said, send also one sister along so that he has company. So my sister came. So my father was the first to come to Bombay.
Which year was this?
And, I was born in 1928, and that was about
Some
before
time
I
ago.
was born,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So about 10 years back, you know.
Yes.
So
What a story! What an amazing story.
So
You started drawing when you were 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah. When I was in Bombay, that was when my father did all this. My grandfather did all this. I was not born, and I was born in Bombay. And these two magazines were there, but there was no question of art. Art language didn't exist. There was this business family. So this person had a place to process, clean lanterns and all. So he taught my father how to clean lanterns, but that did not interest him. He said, I would like to sell lanterns. So he said, there is a shop opposite. You take that shop. There is easily available space, and you can sell lanterns. He gave one grade. So then he asked that man. He came Hath Gadi. So he said, where do you buy this? He said, it's a wholesaler. Who is the wholesaler? So he said that. So he went to the wholesaler and said, can I buy it directly from you? He said, you will have to buy a lot
in bulk. Yes.
Bulk. So till you buy in bulk, I can't sell you. So after 6 months, he had money, so he bought in bulk. Then he made friends with him and said, where do you buy from? So I buy from the dates in Germany.
Okay.
So he said, can you give me a letterhead? So he had the address around. So he wrote back to his father that don't waste your time there. In 6 months, I'll be going to Germany. So he said, you madcap, you don't even know English. How will you go to Germany? He said, I have kept a teacher in my shop only. When I'm not working, he said, teach me English. So, oh really? So, and he said, you bring the brothers also, because I will not be there. So now, and Alec Padamsi's father was there also. So was Naushad's father.
Okay.
We are all family, you know. Okay. Naushad Padamsi.
Alec Padamsi
is my first cousin.
Okay.
So they all came, and quite a lot of this I learned from the father of Alec.
Okay.
Because I didn't know this. My father said that, but my father did go to Germany and he met Dietz. So he told him that I got only one address, that's yours. And I have no money to stay in the hotel also, so I'll just sleep here.
My goodness.
So he said, that he must have been about 18,
Very
20.
young,
Yeah.
yes.
So he said, you're like my son, you know. You are a very brave boy, but I can't give you the whole agency. So he said, give me one consignment. He said, okay. Give me. So he wrote back, sell at 1 paisa profit. I have to give back money to him. So these fellows were selling, and they gave back the money in a week. He said, my God, in 1 week. He said, if you send me regularly, you don't give me the agency. If you send me regularly, no other lantern will sell in India except Dietz.
My goodness.
So that's okay. He said, and he should get his money very fast. He said, I'll work on low profit. So in the market, they said, this fellow is a madcap. He's selling at such low prices. Where is he making money? He said, I want to capture the market. That nobody will buy any lantern except Dietz. So by then, he became more and more confident. And he said, don't touch lanterns. That is my. So he was called the king of lanterns. He was the only person. So that's the background. So then when he came to India, he quite. So at that time, I remember I must have been about 3 or 4, and he was sitting on the dining table, and he was laughing. He said that I buy land on both sides of the railway track, and they are saying that my father's name is Hassan Bhai. Hassan Bhai is a madcap. where the dogs are urinating, he is buying land. He said they don't see the railway track, you know. For me, railway track is a river. I still remember that it's a river. And if
He
I
was a
in my-
visionary. He realized that.
If I was in my village, I would about land on both sides of the river. This is the river.
Yes.
So Matunga, the other both sides. And he bought land, and then when he had more money, he started constructing.
So the family moved to now construction.
Because he got the money,
Yes.
everything is. Now, what happened when the war broke out, the last war in 44 or something, they brought the Rent Control Act.
Okay.
So when the Rent Control Act came and the prices started to rise, he could not increase the rents. So the last property that I got, I inherited a few properties also, ex my brothers. I sold off the last property 6 months back. All my life, because you know what used to have to be a landlord with low rents. In the building I used to stay at Nipinchur, the lift was not working. So I told them it costs 3 lakhs to repair. He said, "You're the landlord, you repair it." He said, "Okay, I don't want the landlord. We'll all make a society." At the time they said, if you make a society, you get 100 times the rent, which was nothing. So I said, I don't care about the rent. We make the society, because we had 3 flats in the building. I said, anyway we've got 3 flats. So they make the society, and then they pay the money, and they do all the rest. And they said that, Akbar, nobody will respect you now, because you're not the landlord. I said, who wants your bloody respect, you know?
So how did JJ College happen? I mean, you started doodling and drawing, and then when you went to school, your teacher said that you should try and draw like a child, because they were so impressed with the way you handled the portrait, almost like a grown-up. So by the time you reached JJ, you were almost prepared to join an art school. How was it? Who were your peers? Who were the people teaching you?
I always never do like a child. So when the teacher entered, I had drawn a portrait on the blackboard. So he said, "Who has drawn that?" So I said, "I have drawn it." He said, "You? How can you draw it at the age of 5? It's a very good portrait. It's done by Nettle." He said, "No, it's done by me." He said, "You're telling a lie." So I went and rubbed it off and I drew it again. He said, "Oh, it is yours. So why don't you draw like a child?" I said, "I can't draw like a child. I cannot draw like Nettle." Because he said, all the other students are making those like child. You're the only man who draws. So I never do like a child. So that's how I began. Then in the 4th standard, we had a drawing teacher. His name was Shirsat. He was from Malvan. A number of artists had come from Malvan. And during lunch hour, he used to make watercolors. So I used to sit and watch him. He said, "Why don't you go and play?" He said, "No, I want to watch you." So he said, you like painting?" He said, "Okay, I'll come on Sundays and teach you." So he started coming home and teaching me. So we took me to Chani Road Garden and all this, draw trees, you know. So I started doing watercolors also at the age of 10 or 12. So my art education started long before the School of Art. And when in the age of 16 or so, 18, when you pass matriculation, he said, "Now I'll take you to JJ School of Art." My father was very strict. He had bought a Chevrolet. He said, "Go to school and come back, no stopping at Chowpatty and eating all that bail, and this is very bad for the file." So I didn't know Bombay at all. The car took me to school and brought me back. I had not even seen Bhuri Bandha. And in the Illustrated Weekly there was an ad that musical instruments available, but musical instruments form was fantastic. It was like, like conch with the holes there. So I said, "This is a beautiful form," but I didn't know what Bhuri Bandha was. So I wrote them to a letter that sent me this by VPP. So, and I'll pay. So the person came with this. And then I blew into it and it made sounds, but I had no musical sense. So at that time the teacher had said that, "I want you to make an object with plants, you know." So I filled the whole instrument with mud, and I put seeds into all those things. So in a week all the plants came up. So I took it to class. They said, "My God, what a beautiful plant, the seeds and the..." So she exhibited in the class, you know. So that was my first installation. Without knowing what an installation was. And she put it and she said, "This is a beautiful piece. Please give it to the class." I said, "Of course, take it. No problem."
But when you went to JJ, who were the teachers? Who were the people teaching
At that
you?
time, before Adurkar, there was a man called Gerard, he's the Englishman, who wanted to initiate people into portrait painting and things like that. When Adurkar came, he was trained in London, and he was trying to do the same thing. And he was trying to behave like an Englishman. He wore a suit and a tie and he, without the sense of Western art, he used to behave. And at the School of Art, I used to go to the library of the School of Art, where my first book that I saw was by Kumaraswamy. At that time I didn't even know who Kumaraswamy, and the Dance of Shiva. So I went to the Dance of Shiva and I suddenly knew the whole mythology of Shiva. You know? His leg is raised to ask you to depart from the world and everything. So I used to go every morning. Then I found a book on Chinese art. It is a good library on the 6 principles of Chinese painting.
That really influenced you, because even in the book you're talking about this with Homi
So
Bhabha.
the School of Art library. Then Adurkar called me one day and said to me, "You spend a lot of time in the library when you should be working in the class." So I say, "I'm studying art only in the library, all the books of art." So he said, "No, you should draw, make drawings." I said, I said I was joining the drawing class in the evening. If I was trying to avoid why should I spend 2 more hours in the school? He said, "No, but I won't allow you to appear in the exams if you stay in the library." And he closed the library. So I said, "That ridiculous." So I told my brother. At that time I was 17 years old. So he said, "I'll take you to Royal Aesthetic Library. He was a member, and you can become a member then." So 18 years was so he just filled a form 18 years.
So that you could be admitted.
I'm still a member of I'm a life member of that. At that time the entry was just 5,000 rupees or something.
What was it about the Chinese drawing books that so influenced you or so drew you
First I
in?
didn't know that the principles of art. Now the famous principle is the yin yang.
Yes.
And the male energy and the female energy. Yang is the male energy. And how do you load the brush? You load it first in water, which is feminine, and then only the point, because it becomes triangular, the broad base, only the point goes into ink, and you with one stroke you have to draw a circle, but in the circle all the tonalities must come. So it took me several months to do that practice and to get all the tonalities, because till you don't get the tonalities, it is no use going ahead. The second thing that they said, that in traditional times, how a student was introduced, he was given paper of different sizes and said, "Just draw one stroke." It is supposed to be a bamboo stalk.
Yes.
And they would do it, and he was no. So there was a artist there who said that, "Why have you rejected this? This is a wonderful stroke." So he said, "You look in the stroke, but on both sides of the stroke there is space. I am looking in the space." And said, "My God!" So it is not the stroke is important, the space. 2 spaces are created. One is convex, one is concave. When you have curve, they are not the same space. So I see that what is the relation of concave and convex, and if it is perfect, I say this is artist.
You've said somewhere about Cézanne's use of space, the way he would go around a model to see.
Like Cézanne used to go doing landscape, and you sit at one place, and then you turn his head, turn his body, and turn his body. So after 1 hour, he used to finish one paint. And he said, "I don't have to hunt. I just have to turn around, because there's so much." Because what he was working on was spaces. Other people were drawing trees and mountains. He was not interested. Mountains and trees are there, but the space.
Yes. And Akbar, when you were going to Paris, is it right that you were traveling with Raza? The two of you were traveling together?
What had happened, in the School of Art, we were 3 friends. Tayyab Mehta, Pratap Singh, who was from Rajasthan, in a princely family, and he was rejected because, so he came to Bombay to study art. He was very, very fine painter.
Okay.
And so when we appeared for diploma exam, Raza had come to School of Art to see Kesa. We became friends with the progressive artist groups because Souza, Hussain and all. We were in the students, but used to help them.
They were older.
Raza was 6 years older to me. But when you are in your 20s and somebody is 26 and he had several exhibitions, Hussain was 10, 15 years older.
Yes.
But they were very friendly and we used to help them by hanging out shows and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. And my brother had an office and he had a gestator machine. So I used to make the list of paintings and maybe gestator catalogs. So I brought the catalog and said, my God, we were a catalog also. So they're very happy with us. You know.
Okay.
I had seen the books and all, and I said, okay, I must go to Madurai because the sculptures are very good. So I took a plane ticket, and we had the money and went to Madurai. And I went to this temple in Madurai.
Yes. Meenakshi temple?
Meenakshi. At that time I did not know Meenakshi meant fish-eyed. Akshi is eyes, Meena is fish.
Yes.
But Meenakshi, I just knew the title. So when I went to the entry, from a distance I could see Om written in deep. You know, beautiful. I said, my God, you know, I was struck with the image of Om. You know, and then I entered and I saw sculptures. It was absolutely crazy looking at it. And then from there I went to Chidambaram, where the Shiv Nataraj, and I read about Shiv Nataraj from Kumaraswamy.
Yes.
And I saw so many Shiv Nataraj there. And then I went to Madras and I saw the Madras Museum. And after that I said, I've seen enough. So I came back to Bombay. And I told Palsika, I said, now go northeast. No, I said, I'm going to Paris because September Raza is going. And when I come back, I'll do that. So I went with Raza, we shared the same cabin. And I found that Raza was a very good painter, but he was quite ignorant. He had not read anything. So when I talked to him about my travels and all, he said, my God, I have been to Meenakshi, but I didn't enter. I made a landscape of it from outside.
Oh.
I said, you didn't enter? He said, no, I was just sketching landscapes, you know. But the way you're describing, I really missed it, you know. I wish I could have gone inside and seen all those sculptures. So he was just he's a landscape artist. So he got very interested in me that I had.
But you had very different approaches.
Yeah.
As painters, as human beings, Raza, you, Taib, Hussain. I think that is very interesting. And yet at one point you were all so close. You worked closely, you shared your ideas.
We remained close to the end. There were always arguments, but there was nothing vicious about it.
Even with Taib, you were in touch till the end?
Yeah, yeah.
Akbar, going back to Paris days, you were successful, you were recognized for your talent, you won awards.
I'll tell you about the award.
Yes.
You see,
that figure with the bird.
Yeah. André Breton, fortunately, due thanks to my brother, I knew who André Breton was. He was known as the Pope of Surrealism. And they had an exhibition which said they don't sign the painting. We don't want to know who you are. We'll give you a code number in which your details are there, but will not no signature there. And after a week I got telegram, you won the 3rd prize in this case. So when I went there, I said, who is the judge? He said, André Breton. I said, André Breton? I said, where is he? He said, standing there. So André Breton, hair, big hair, you know. So I went to him and I spoke a little French then. I said, Je suis Padam Singh. He looked at me. Quel âge avez-vous? How old are you? I said, 21. Mais vous êtes un enfant, but you are a child. You won this award with Kazu, who is 40 years old. You've joined, you and he won. He said, Kazu, come here. And he said, Kazu, this is Padam Singh from Bombay. He's 21 years old. So he said, let him have the whole prize because he didn't want it to appear that I had. Because it was an anonymous show and no details are given.
Yes.
So at that time there was an architect, Jean Mouret, who told André Breton that you have given him a prize with a senior French artist. Don't you think that's a mistake? So he said, you know where he comes from? He comes from India. They have a tradition of millions of years, you know. That is why I don't think he's 21. He is 21,000 years old. You know.
Akbar, even today there's such a lot of vandalism. and there are all these attacks that happen. A lot of it is misguided people who really don't know enough. It used to be there in your time when you were actually arrested for the painting that you put up at Jahangir called Lovers. And even today we have this kind of an attack, whether it's against Hussain or whether it's against nudity in art. Somehow these things haven't changed.
The police came in civil and on the opening day and said, we want photographs of this. I said, I don't have photographs of this, fortunately. If you want, you're a journalist, you go to table the other photograph. And when he left, Sujat Ali, who then became my lawyer, came to me, what did he say? He said, photographs of only those paintings. So I said, he said, he's Inspector Kanga from CID. Because I see in the court all the time. So I said, he said, there'll be problems. So that night I didn't sleep, you know. He said, now what? Tomorrow he'll come. And he came exactly as I expected him. And he said, Inspector Kanga, CID. So I said, sit down, Inspector. I had already prepared the whole thing in my mind. So he said, under section 292 IPC, I order you to remove this painting. I said, you are a policeman, you cannot give an order, only a judge can give an order. You can give a notice. He said, I didn't think that you would oppose my order. I said, you cannot give me an order also. You do your duty. So he said, I have not brought that notice. I said, you go and bring it. He said, I have to report back. So will you come with me? I said, why should I come with you? He said, I am requesting. I said, if you say, please come, I will come. Because you are a policeman, I have nothing against you. So he said, okay, please come. So I said, I went. The police wagon has got this jail and then the driver sitting there. So I said, no, you get in there. I am not arrested. I sat next to a driver and I put him in the jail. He must have gone in the jail for the first time.
Akbar, what does spirituality mean to you? Today, at this age and time, what does it mean to be spiritual?
Well, spirituality is a new dimension since I met Jaggi Vasudev in Coimbatore. He is truly a realized person, and he's very broad-minded, you know. And one day he said that he came here to consecrate, and then he came here and he said, Akbar, can I spend 1 week with you in your house? I'll stay with you. I want to see you painting. I said, I'm sorry, I don't paint in front of anybody. So he said, you refuse to teach me. I said, I don't refuse to teach you, you are a master. So he said, okay. Then when he came the second time, he was taking his CCI. He sent a message to me that I want to see you. So I came in there. I said, yes, sir. He said, I've started painting. I've started painting without your help. I said, I can't help you, but I'll buy, the big boxes of acrylic paint. So I bought 50,000 rupees of acrylic paint and I sent it to him as a present. So I said, I want you to paint, but I can't teach you.
Yes.
Because then the next time he came, he told me, how good is your meditation? I said, not very good. So he said, what? You answered so bluntly. I said that, but he said, but I said, when I'm painting, I can work 8 hours a day without my meditation break. He said, then you got it.
Because your art is meditative.
Yeah. He said, now don't go on all the practices I've taught you. You don't need them. You just paint.